Yo, yo, yo. Look at us, dude.
We're back, everybody. We're in far too official of a place for us.
No, this is perfect.
It's perfect.
The bit that won't die has led us to here.
Yeah. So we're in the same, well, not the same studio, but it's with the same people as the one we did for episode 69.
Yeah, episode 69 we did in this studio back in its early days. Look at it now. Good job, Max. Max, my buddy, is producing. So keep it going for him if you're listening. By the way, this is
The podcast for Talk Sauce.
by Talk Sauce. Look at us, dude. The big ass apple.
Yeah, it feels good. We just got done playing golf. It's my first time golfing in New York.
Dude, what'd you make of it?
I had a great time, but the golf course was definitely a lot tighter than I'm used to. So it was kind of there were just balls flying everywhere. People almost getting hit. You would hit a ball and you don't know if you get the ball back or not. It just depends if it's close to people or
at
not.
the course also loved taking other people's golf balls.
Yeah, you would hit a perfect drive and then your ball is just gone.
And you're like, oh, someone took it. Dude, this is crazy. Episode 100. Can you believe it?
We made it. It's insane. We were looking through the Spotify, and I think we did our first episode on Spotify was like 3 years ago.
And we were doing it for like a year before that.
Yeah. And because I think our 27th one, from what I recall, was on Spotify.
Do you think this is the longest running COVID hobby of anyone who picked up a
It's
COVID
possible.
hobby?
Bo and I were just talking about this, and I said, I don't think this would have happened if it weren't for like us being stuck at home alone.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we maybe would have tried it eventually, maybe like once, but we wouldn't be 100 episodes deep for sure.
It's kind of crazy. But I mean, it was just good at the time because we were basically hanging out with people on Zooms anyway.
Yeah.
So when it started, we were like, it would be funny if we just recorded this and sent it to our friends. You remember that? That's how we did it, like without warning. Bo and I just got on a Zoom call, hit record, and went for like 2.5 hours.
We would go long. We were like putting up Joe Rogan numbers.
Yeah, it was insane. And we were hitting very important topics, but the sound quality was horrible. I think we were just talking into our computers at the time.
Dude, isn't it crazy that we were doing it on Zoom without any equipment and now we're sitting in a fucking studio?
Yeah, we're in a studio. But I just remember we like made a recording. It was like just literally the file, and we paid a guy to make a theme song on Fiverr, and then we just put it in the group chat.
I tell everyone
was like,
to
"What
use
the hell is
Fiverr,
that?"
dude.
Fiverr. I'm a huge fan of Fiverr.
We paid
dude.
what, $15 for the theme song?
Yeah, something like that. I need to reach out to that guy and see if he wants to come on the podcast because we were looking at Fiverr for something else recently that we didn't end up executing on, unfortunately.
Oh,
We'll keep it in our back pocket.
Yeah,
for episode,
we will
episode
never
200.
tell.
Stay tuned.
Is that the next landmark episode?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. 150 maybe.
Because we went 69 episodes, and this is technically 31 episodes later. Well, it's more like 33, 34. So we need another 150.
Yeah,
169.
You could also do the 100th episode on Spotify. 100th episode since the public has been subjected.
Spotify was like episode 21, maybe.
I think it was 27. So we could do we can look into it, but it is just so fun to come here and do it in the studio.
It's insane, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do feel like, I don't know, it's just kind of crazy because usually I just sit in front of my computer and record it, and now there's like freaking lights on us.
Yeah, we got a mirror with lights built into it and shit. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, but we're doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
we are.
Yeah. So this is, how many times have you been in New York now?
Maybe like 5.
How has your experience of New York changed? Like, how do you feel about the city now that you've been here as much as you have?
Well, the first time I went, the first time I came, it was for New Year's, and it was Yumi and Kelly, and it was, I think, just kind of an unbelievable cold front came through.
Doing New Year's in New York is a great idea on paper.
Yeah, it's because everyone, that's like where New Year's happens. You know, they do the ball drop and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, we should check that out. And then I found out people were like wearing adult diapers.
Yeah, people were like catheters and
that's
shit.
insane. Yeah.
We went to a concert that night, didn't we?
Yeah,
you, me, Kelly, and Alex. It was real estate.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we went to a concert, I remember. And then we went to like a party at an apartment that Kelly met some girl on Tinder or something.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't go because you got sick.
I got sick.
You
Yeah,
had
well, the
strep
thing
or
was,
something.
we tried to do all of like the outdoor, like touristy stuff because I had never been before. So we went
like Top of the Rock and shit.
Yeah, we went to Top of the Rock, which is, for those that don't know, it's probably what, like 80 stories high or something. It's like super
if not higher.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It gives you a really good vantage point over New York where you can see the Empire State Building. I think that's kind of the appeal, is like you can also go on the Empire State Building, but it's kind of better to see it.
Yeah,
You want to look and
That was Kelly's mom's recommendation.
Oh,
if
was
I
it?
remember correctly.
It was awesome.
It was a
but
good call.
It was
yeah,
so I think it was like 8 degrees outside, but then we
it
were
was windy,
really high up. It was crazy windy and like the air just hurt.
Yeah.
And do you remember there was a woman up there who like had her baby?
Yeah.
She like had a baby on a stroller and it was just like screaming at the top
baby's
of
building up that
Yeah,
immune
that-
system quick. What do you
but-
think that baby's up to now? Because that was 2017.
the baby. I don't know, popsicle.
it's still on the roof
Yeah,
of the building.
I felt bad for that baby. I think
I felt
she-
bad for us.
Yeah,
It
yeah, I know. I felt
stunk
bad
up
for
there,
me.
dude.
But I just remember like I like looked at my throat in the mirror and it had like white sores in it. And
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like, oh
strep,
my
right?
god.
Just straight up
Yeah, he
strep.
gave. I think I came up negative for strep, but he's like, I think you still have strep, so he gave me an antibiotic. But I'm pretty sure it was just from running around. So that time was not the best introduction to New York, but every time I've come back since, we've like really done a lot of like the touristy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess it's changed where I've just seen kind of the more like what your lifestyle is. Like
Uh-huh.
you're not just going to Times Square all the time. You know?
I mean, we could.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
There's a Krispy Kreme out there. Every
Whoa.
time I'm in that neighborhood,
Isn't there
I
a
get
Margaritaville?
Krispy Kreme. There is. I've
Didn't
been.
you go recently?
Dude, it's sick.
What-
I went with the buddies I golf with typically.
Oh,
Jack,
dude,
Jimmy, and Jeff. Shout
That's
out.
a good. I
Yeah.
feel like anyone who golfs would like Margaritaville.
Dude, yeah, it's like you're just leaning into like Americana
it's
for a
divisive
day.
in the exact same way that golf is.
Dude, because I was trying to explain Bushwick to Jack. I'm talking to whoever understands Bushwick. Like, I'm almost 30 years old and I live in Bushwick, and it feels how I describe living in Bushwick at being my age is it feels like I'm a sophomore in college who still goes to high school parties. You know what I mean? I show up at a bar and people are like, "Don't you have a funeral to go to, old
my
man?" And like people fucking hate golf in Bushwick. Like the idea of it. The last time we golfed, we had the idea to golf because my buddy Jimmy, one of the people I golf with, he sat on the train in Bushwick and someone across from him sat down there wearing a hat that said "fuck golf." And then he was like, "We should go golfing." And then the last time we have like a sports bar in Bushwick we go to, which like is hard to find in Bushwick after we golf. And the last time we were there, like people were just like giving us the dirtiest looks, just like
So
I was
funny.
walking down the street with my bag and one guy looked at me and was like, "Motherfucker looked like he just played 18."
Oh, you had your clubs on
I
you.
had my clubs on me, dude.
There's something funny about going into like a really hip Brooklyn bar with your golf clubs.
Yeah. And then people were like kind of ironically asking us questions about golf. And we are like, dude, golf's the best. It's an excuse to like go outside and drink and smoke cigarettes. It's like,
Yeah.
what more can you ask for from a day?
I think the negative connotation from it is like for people who just haven't done it before. Because you just get to hang outside and
It's the
nature is
best.
the main thing.
It's my
Yeah.
favorite activity for sure. Because
Yeah.
it's like you're outside, you have an activity, and you're just like drinking and smoking and just like doing like something more involved than just like sitting at a bar all day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just being at a bar outside where you like hit balls with sticks.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. Who doesn't want to hit a ball? I also think a lot of people stink at golf and act like they hate it because they're not good at it.
That's the one problem with it is it's so hard to get good at golf.
It's the hardest game.
and it's like you and me like aren't good at golf really.
You're
but,
pretty good.
but we're better than like you're better than 90% of the golfing population probably.
Well, you play a lot, so you're like
Yeah.
actively good. I'm good enough to where I won't slow somebody down.
Yeah.
Like if you're good at golf, you won't feel like you're just like sitting around waiting on me all day.
Yeah.
You know, I'll keep up. But I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm good.
Right.
I'm not bad, but I'm not good.
You have glimpses.
Yeah.
It's within you. You just need to get it out, I
Dude,
think.
And that's the thing. Like every once in a while, I have a moment where I'm like, bow number 2, dude. I'm on the fucking tour.
So there's this like classic golf joke where if you every time you like hit a ball out of bounds or something, you'll hit your second ball and it'll be perfect. And it's just like the second guy's on tour and Bo would just like hit the worst shot you've ever seen in your life. And then I think this happened like 3 times. He would drop a ball and hit it like right next to the pin.
Yeah, like
what the
pin
hell?
high. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Where's that guy been? I just need
Yeah.
to figure out how to like Smart Hulk when he figures out how to use the Hulk. I need to figure out how to do that with golf
analogy.
with bow number 2. You know, how
you
do
bring
I
bow
like
number two
unlock
out.
bow number 2? Always, because like bow number 2, like imagine if I was bow number 2 anywhere else but a golf course.
You'd be
It'd
the
be a
president,
nightmare, dude. I'm ambitious. I have opinions on what stocks you should be investing in. I need to figure out how to channel it appropriately. I don't care what stocks you're investing with, as long as you have IRAs and
as
bonds.
long as it's GameStop.
As long as it's GameStop.
Yeah, that was a pretty major point of the podcast. Was GameStop
Yeah, that was a
focus.
nice callback to like the early days. What? How do you think golfing on the blockchain would work?
That's a good question.
Because if you're having a timeshare on the blockchain, you're gonna want to golf.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it would be all digital. You could just talk about it, about
Yeah,
golfing.
that's what it is.
It could just like make like a VR game for you, and you get to watch yourself play golf.
Yeah.
But you don't actually have to do it. But then you can still go recap
And you can
it
adjust
with
the
all the
settings
dudes.
of how good your
Yeah,
avatar
yeah,
is
yeah,
at
yeah,
golf.
yeah.
I'm gonna watch myself play really good today.
Yeah, man, you should see this putt I made earlier today.
You could be like bow number 2, the avatar, where it's like always bow number 2. You know, so it's like you just watch a bow number 2 just rip drives.
You
dude.
just stop playing
It's
and
like
watch your guy.
Bow number 2's
Yeah, if you could just
consistent.
have the guy like your best shot, you just upload that into the blockchain, and then it's just only
It builds
that.
out the game
it builds out your game.
from
It has a one-shot sample size though, but you only get to do one shot. So
Yeah.
and that's it gets uploaded to the blockchain. That's your forever golf skill.
So your
level.
avatar doesn't improve or get
No,
worse.
it's all based on one shot.
So
And I would hit a bad shot probably with the pressure on.
Yeah.
But you get one attempt and then it just builds out your game from that. And then I think that's how the value would exist as well. If you're able to clutch up. So you probably like work years to just train for that one shot that
So
you
you
have
never have
for the
to play
blockchain.
golf
Yeah,
again.
then you never have to play again. You've got all the notoriety from being the best golfer on the blockchain.
yeah.
But
I feel like if you're a blockchain golfer, you're part of the LIV tour.
yeah,
You're not
absolutely.
PGA.
Yeah, no,
No
of
way.
course not. We take all the blood money we can get. Dude.
What why do you think people like hate golf though? Like truly. Like what
Probably because it's like historically, I think it's kind of changed now, but it's like a wealthy thing. It's like
I mean it's
rich
not
people do it.
cheap.
It's still
still.
expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but now I think it's more like approachable. But at least in Austin, I think since COVID, there's been a lot of young people who've started playing, and
Because
like,
it was the only thing you could do,
yeah,
really.
yeah. I think it's the game has grown a lot, but so now I feel like young normal people play. But I think historically it was just all like old rich white dudes,
Like snobby.
you know?
Like
And I think it definitely still has that stereotype, you know.
yeah, but it definitely seems like it's softened because people like us have realized how fun golf is.
It's
We're out here spreading the good word right now.
This is actually a golf podcast.
We should pivot.
We were talking about trying to record a podcast while golfing, but
That'd be sick.
I think we decided against it.
Yeah, it would probably be a disaster.
Yeah.
That-
It wouldn't sound good.
Our worst idea, because in the early days, we were like, how do we make this podcast different before we realized the podcast is this? Like,
Yeah, we wanted to have like an identity as a podcast because it's
Yeah.
like every single podcast in the world is just two dudes hanging out talking.
And I think we also thought we were going to like really.
Yeah,
like,
that was the thing. I think
work the
initially we
podcast.
were having so much fun with it, and we were like, we should make this a thing. Like,
Yeah.
But I think since we've come to terms with we have 10 loyal listeners. I think we had an episode with like 50 listens.
Well, and when we first like put on Instagram, like, like a bunch of people from high school are like,
Like,
the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought they died.
Yeah. So, but now that we're comfortable with it, but yeah, we don't need to pick a specific lane.
Well, because
I don't
we
think.
are definitely in the bottom 1%. Actually, we're probably in the bottom like 10% of podcasts with listeners. Because think of how many podcasts have no listeners.
We do have a loyal listeners.
That's
we could
what I was
probably
gonna
sell
say.
them stuff.
We have the most loyal listeners, but we have so few of them. Like our fans, which is basically just our friends, are as into our podcast as Taylor Swift fans are into Taylor Swift. Like that's power.
We should abuse it.
Well, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Communist America, dude, we're gonna abuse the shit out of it.
So I did want to ask you, so every time I go to my uncle's place, it's like near Houston.
Yeah.
There's a giant Margaritaville hotel like right down the street.
Oh, sick.
And I always want to go to it just to like
You
check
have
it
to
out.
go, dude.
But I know nothing about Margaritaville. So like, what
Do you like Jimmy Buffett?
Yeah.
He's the best. His
Like,
music's amazing.
What is Margaritaville?
It's
So a
I
restaurant
guess like
bar.
probably the most like apt comparisons would be like Rainforest Cafe
Oh,
or something
Huge
like
fan.
or probably actually more like a Hard Rock Cafe, but instead of like rock music, it's Jimmy Buffett. That's all it is. The one in New York's in Times Square. It's like a massive hotel. It's a huge hotel, and then like the bottom floor is just kind of like a gift shop and stuff, trying to get people in just to buy like Margaritaville Times Square T-shirts or whatever. And then there's like bars and restaurants, and there's a pool that you can go swim at and stuff.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think you could probably pay as
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a New Yorker to go swim there or whatever if you're not staying at the hotel. But it's funny because in like the main like area of it, there's like a giant Statue of Liberty, and she's like holding the flame or whatever. And then once every hour on the hour, you hear the sounds of a subway, and then the lights dim and her goblet lights up with like fishes, and then it fills up like a giant margarita. And then like Cheeseburger in Paradise starts playing and like Jimmy Buffett music.
Oh my
It's like a
gosh.
10-minute like light show that happens
Yeah,
like every hour. And it was like funny the first time, but then you're sitting there for like 2-3 hours. Like we were watching football when we were there. We were like, I fucking
Yeah, it's
get
probably
it.
cool if you pop in.
Yeah,
and like
you're
have
like,
a
oh,
drink.
that's kind of
Yeah,
silly.
yeah.
But like when you're just like hanging out there, and then like I couldn't imagine working there.
Oh my
And
gosh.
every hour hearing the same snippets of Margaritaville and Cheeseburger in Paradise is like the sounds of the city mix into like a beach. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
It sounds like some of the places in Vegas because I feel like a lot of the hotels will have just like a light show
Yes,
or
yeah.
they have those water like things, but they'll be every 30 minutes or whatever.
Dude, is there a Margaritaville casino?
I don't think there is.
There
And
fucking
there
should be.
Yeah. We could open one.
That would be so sick.
Hawaiian shirts required.
Oh, dude. Yeah. The whole staff is just flip flops.
Yeah, Tommy Bahama shirts.
Dude, are you a big Hawaiian shirt guy?
I from time to time, not like with my regular attire, but I do own a couple Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah,
so
but when you go to Margaritaville Casino,
of course
that
you have to. I think they should give
unleashes.
you them at the door.
yeah,
Or there's
that-
like a strict dress code, you know?
Yeah.
They'll like, you would like show up not wearing pants or something at a bar and
Yeah.
they don't let you in.
they're
But it's
like, sorry, you're wearing closed-toed shoes at the Margaritaville Casino.
I don't see a thong between your toes.
You're only allowed to wear thong flip flops with
Yeah.
a bottle opener
Yeah.
on the bottom.
Yeah. The only beer they serve you is bottled beer, but you have to open it yourself
with your
their flip-flops.
Or if you are good at doing the thing where you like
Oh yeah,
Get
that's
down.
loud. They
Those
should
are the-
have a separate table. Like
Yeah.
there are two sections.
that's
There's
like kind of the VIP
yeah. There's a
section.
flip flop section.
If
It's like-
you have a
yeah.
trick to open a
Yeah.
bottle of beer, you got to go to the VIP section of the Margaritaville Casino. Dude, would you ever open a beer with the bottle opener on the bottom of your flip flops
I
and drink it?
think that is insane.
It's so gross.
and it's also I associate flip flops with like beaches.
yeah.
So it's like that bottle opener is gonna get a ton of sand up in it, and you're gonna,
I think it's more to like say it's there, you
yeah.
know. But
that
I
was
re-
a big thing, like what 10 years ago, probably.
Dude, more than that. I remember when I was like a little kid, I must have been like 9 or 10. We went to the beach because my family and all the cousins and stuff, we'd go to the beach together every summer. And I remember sitting with my dad and my uncle. And my uncle got a beer and he's like, you guys gotta see this new flip flop technology. And he takes off his shoe and he opens the beer. And me and my dad were like, whoa, like blown away. We couldn't believe this marvel of human innovation. That was a bottle opener on the bottom of a reef
That was
sandal.
a big thing for a while.
Yeah. And then I think people are like, wait, that's nasty.
Yeah, it's insane. I think there should be a development of some sort in bottle opener technology.
It probably has the least amount of innovation of anything ever.
Yeah.
They made it and then they were like, we have no
We've
need for
done it.
further innovation.
What else could you do though?
I
guess?
mean, there's like the kitschy ones. Like I have like a penis shaped one in my apartment. I have like there are ones that like I've seen one where it's like a little Chewbacca and then like the Star Wars theme plays. But it's not like new technology. It's almost like a way to distract you from the lack of innovation from the bottle opener itself. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it might not be able to change. You might have to change the bottle before you can change the bottle opener.
What came first, the bottle or
the bottle
opener?
opener. I feel like they had to have come at the same time. Imagine if you made a bottle and you were like, "Oh fuck,
How do I open this?
I didn't think this through."
No. Yeah, I feel like. What do you think people were doing? Like, because I imagine the bottle came first, realistically, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
I feel
because people were storing shit before.
I would imagine if you made something and you were like, "Okay, we're gonna start using this," you would have to have a way to use it though to open it. So I guess maybe it was kind of a
Yeah,
chicken and the egg
I
thing.
mean, fuck, that's fucking interesting. Because it is like, it's like, all right, like barrels and shit, you know, like people were trying to figure out how to store things. And
Mhm.
I feel like they probably were like, all right, we need to store this. And then once they figured out their storage, they were like, great, now we need to figure out how to open this.
Yeah, maybe. Do you think there was stuff that was like civilizations were lost because they couldn't figure out how to open their barrels?
They couldn't figure out how to open storage. Well, I mean, it probably like the original bottles probably like some sort of like cork thing, like a clay jug in Peru
Well,
or something.
they probably just like shattered the top of it initially if it was glass or clay.
I mean, it was probably clay. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like when do you think glass came into the game?
That's a great question.
That's
I feel like
fucking
it's probably been around for an extremely long time.
Yeah, like 10, 15 years probably.
Yeah, maybe 20. Because I guess if you just like accidentally got sand really hot, you would have been like, "Oh my god,
Whoa.
what is this?"
Is that actually how glass is formed?
I
Like,
think so, right? It's probably like a specific type of sand, I would imagine. I don't really know.
have you ever seen the movie Sweet Home Alabama?
I don't think I have. Actually.
That's like what the guy she should be with does. He like follows like lightning storms on the Gulf Coast of Alabama for when lightning strikes sand that he could make like glass art with.
Wow.
And so I was like, is that real or is that because
I mean, I
movie?
know that it is sand is involved, and because you've seen like people glass blowing, right?
Yeah.
And it turns into like lava.
When you go to a glass blowing class, the first thing they give you is a bag of sand. And you can't work with
And a
glass
lighter.
until you know
Yeah.
sand.
You have to understand what you're working with.
Yeah, you have to know glass in its purest form, and it's just a bag of sand.
I always thought the glass blowing was like so cool.
I feel like it's incredibly tough. It can't be good for you.
Yeah, it's probably not. What if you inhale like molten sand?
That's got to be top 5 like worst
ways
things
to
you could
die.
inhale is like glass blowing. Just the chemicals and the fucking.
What if you inhaled the sand and then it like while it was still hot and then it turned into glass inside of you?
It just glasses your
Yeah,
lungs.
It just glasses
Whoa.
your lungs shut. That would suck.
A real artist would be like, cut me open and sell
Oh, that would be
the glass.
dude. That could be our final art piece for Talk Sauce. We'll inhale molten glass
That's the name of the
for our
episode.
lungs. Molten glass. I like it.
Yeah, that's fucking sand. Glass. Whoa. That is, I don't know, man. We've gotten so far from talking about bottles. I don't even know where we are
Yeah,
anymore.
Where are we?
It does look fun though. Glass blowing.
Yeah.
Like it does look like a good time, but I feel like it's one of those things where it looks like a good time, and then when you did it, I'd be like, "Fuck this."
Yeah. I think it's fun to watch people do it.
Yeah,
but
isn't there like a Netflix show about it?
Probably. I feel like they've got Netflix shows about all kinds of shit now.
Yeah,
But yeah.
totally. What are you watching right now?
On Netflix? I've been watching House of Dragon. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
It's really
Dude,
good.
kind of over Game of Thrones.
Really?
I
Dude.
don't care, man. I'm kind of over like everything. Like even The Bear, which is like one of my favorite shows ever.
Really?
The new season's out. And I'm like, I don't care, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like disappointing because I was so excited until it came out. And then I was like, I don't really feel like watching The Bear.
So with Game of Thrones, I like watched the whole thing when it was initially coming out, or at least the last few seasons. And it was like the best show ever.
Until the
and
last
then
like 2 seasons.
Yeah, really, I thought even the season before the last one was like still good.
It was good, but that's when it started to fall off.
Yeah, I think it was good because I still had like the anticipation that they were going to make the end really good.
Uh-huh.
If I watched it again, I would probably be like, oh, this is where it kind of started getting bad.
Yeah.
But I think for years after that, I just kind of like swore off Game of Thrones because I was like, it just ends so bad. And then,
it left the worst fucking taste.
Yeah. And then Alex had never seen it. And she started rewatching it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this show's the best."
Oh yeah, it is so good. Like you forget how good that show was in the first couple of seasons because the last season was so bad. But what I'll say about the last season is I didn't have a problem with most of what happened. It was just like how it happened, like the Night Walkers or whatever, the people, fucking freaky people north of the wall. Like that was something they teased since the first episode, and it kind of was just like, oh, this is a 1 episode resolution.
It was so anticlimactic, and they didn't really even explain like what was happening.
It was just like, oh yeah, these things.
It was built up. They were here, and then she jumps out of the tree and kills him, and then it's over.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I was just saying, you're like, what the heck? And then I know Bram was kind of involved in it too.
Yeah,
and he just. I don't know. It wasn't ever explained. It was really weird.
It was weird. I didn't have a problem with her killing the main one either because I liked that character and I thought it made sense. But it was like, it just felt like so rushed. And then like even like the Daenerys thing, I was like, this kind of makes sense for the character. You just haven't really.
They didn't
like,
build
took us there.
up to that.
It's
like
just
she
like,
kind of started getting like in bad moods.
and then suddenly she's evil.
Yeah, she destroys an entire civilization.
Yeah,
what the? Heck?
Yeah, it was like, oh, it didn't like progress naturally to get there.
Yeah, that was such a crazy cultural event, though.
It was insane. It was the last time I feel like a show. Well, The Bear, I guess, is kind of like.
I feel
like
Last of Us was kind of like that.
Yeah, Last of Us, or maybe it was just like that for like Yumi and Kelly.
I think most people were watching that.
Yeah, that's true. I guess too. Yeah, that. But I'll say about Game of Thrones also, I didn't even care. The only thing I didn't like was that Bran became the king.
Yeah,
that was the only thing I was like.
Well,
because
he was so indifferent the whole time, and then at the end he's like, "Why do you think I was here all along?"
Like, fuck like, you,
what
man.
What are you talking about? Yeah, his character, because I think it had the most potential, but they never explained anything,
and
then
like
they just made him.
They
just made him king, just out of nowhere. It was ridiculous.
Hodor the way out of here. I'm uninterested in this shit.
The Hodor thing was still probably the craziest thing.
That
in the
was
whole
nuts.
show.
Yeah, how he like made him fucked up by going in time, back in time by getting in the tree or whatever.
And then his whole life was like that was his whole purpose for his entire life. I thought that's what they were going to do more of when, like, because they had the whole three-eyed raven thing and it was involved with the White Walkers somehow and the early civilization. So I thought there was going to be a lot of like time warping shit where like Bran would know what would happen and like influence the past and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought was going to happen, but it didn't end up happening.
You know what else Game of Thrones was missing? Pirates. I felt like pirates would have been cool.
Yeah, they would have been great. I mean, they had boats.
Yeah, there was like a pirate in like 2 episodes. I remember because even when I was watching that show, it's like I feel like pirates would be really cool in this world. That wasn't like a retroactive thing, and there just weren't enough pirates. I thought
that's the main thing. Like all the plot things are kind of secondary to the lack of pirates.
The lack of pirating.
Yeah,
in Game of
Thrones. I know that there was that one pirate show like Black Sails. Did you ever watch that?
No. I don't care about pirates.
Yeah,
that
Kelly
much.
was like Kelly was huge on Black Sails. I wish we had him here because he would give us some information about Black Sails.
Oh, he loved that.
Yeah, he was obsessed with it. But he got bad at me because I told him the reason why I didn't like it is all the pirates had like really good teeth. They had like veneers and stuff. And I was like, dude, there's no way.
It's a nitpick, but it's fair.
But it's so reasonable. Like I feel like half of being a pirate is you have scurvy and shit and your teeth are falling out.
You're like sickly and gangly and shit. You're not hot.
Dude.
Do you think there's ever been a hot pirate?
I mean, I'm sure like a lot of hot people have gotten into pirating and been like a hot pirate for a minute, but then you fall off pretty quickly.
I feel like now's high time to get back into pirating.
Yeah.
Like real on the seas pirating. Like the Somalians kind of have a monopoly on this right now. And then I feel like there's
some
a
American
lot of
representation.
like East Coast pirating, dude. Like just going down to fucking Boston and being like yeah, like I'm gonna steal your tickets to the Celtics game.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
I'm a
But I
pirate.
feel like, they're on fire. They can't lose. Yeah, I feel like a lot of it's just for the vibe too. Like the pirate vibe is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like adjacent to White Boy Summer in a lot of ways. I feel like just being at the sea with your boys, like doing whatever because you're a fucking pirate.
yeah.
You know?
Would be pretty cool. I think I told you I read that book, The Wager. You know,
Oh, the
The-
one that the
the-
Killers of the Flower
Yeah,
Moon
yeah,
guy
the
wrote.
same
Was it
guy.
good?
yeah, it was really good, but it was talking about basically a lot of it is just they're on a boat for like an extended period of time,
Sure.
and it's before they knew about vitamin C. Like vitamin C deficiency is what scurvy was.
yeah.
And all of these like hundreds, they would go out on the boat with like 1,000 people, and for a year, and like 800 would die or something. And they would all just
Whoa.
get like everyone's like teeth would be falling out, and like they would be starving to death, or they would be getting like super bad like sun poisoning. And it's like this
Dude,
sounds
that
so
sucks.
gnarly, dude.
Bring an
the death
emergency
rates-
on our pirate ships.
Yeah, if we had emergency, we'd be, dude. I think if you like could retroactively invent emergency and go back to like the 1700s and sell it to pirates,
Oh,
dude.
keep your pirates pirating with emergency or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
what would it be called? Like RC.
plunder the sea.
Plunder the
But
sea.
it's-
you are
Yeah.
the pun guy after
Yeah,
all.
that's what I'm here for.
And if you, like sometimes whenever we're about to record, I'm like, what is Jack for again? And then I'm like, oh yeah, the
Yeah,
puns.
I'm trying to talk as little as possible, but then I'll just jump in with a good pun. Every
Yeah,
once in a
you
while.
do have those things locked and loaded sometimes though. It's like, damn.
I try to. I have a little like Rolodex of puns that I try and go through each before, and I was like, all right, pirates, we got emergency.
Pirate, yeah,
Try
it's
and
just
direct
the mental
boat
game.
towards emergency, so it sounds natural. It would be funny if you come with like some very specific talking points, and I'm like, yeah. So anyway, pirates.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we were talking about
Yeah.
my mom.
I think I initially did want to like, just because it's kind of nerve wracking to be like, oh, I'm just going to come on a podcast and talk for an hour or whatever
Yeah.
about anything. So I initially like would write some stuff down and be like, oh, we should talk about this. And then it just makes it so much worse.
Yeah, it feels like
you-
it, like because you and I can talk for an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like not
Any
that
different.
long. But it is kind of weird because I feel like if you're not on, like if you're on the phone or something or doing a podcast, you typically won't just sit and speak with someone for an hour without doing anything else.
Yeah, because oftentimes if we're like on the phone, I'm like walking.
Yeah,
somewhere or
yeah.
something.
But even like when we're in person, like we're walking or we're eating
We're
or
golfing.
we're drinking, we're golfing most of the time.
Yeah,
But
most of the
it is
time.
interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like we got to bring back conversation.
Nah, I'm good. Should we wrap up?
Yeah. well,
Episode 100.
yeah, we did it. Like to shake your hands.
It's just like
Yeah.
almost too
Yeah.
far away. Yeah, 100 episodes. Well, we need to figure out what the next momentous episode is.
Yeah, get back to us. It might be 127 or it might be 200. Except the problem is if it's
169 has a
200, it'll
lot of
be like
potential, I think.
probably 4 years from now.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get back to you guys.
All right. Until next time.